My name is Dolora David. I am from El Sobrante, San Francisco area. I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer way back in August 18 from one of the nearby hospital. I happened to know Oasis of Hope from really not a friend, not anybody, but it just happened that I was so overwhelmed with all the conventional procedures and appointments that I have to do where I live and where I was diagnosed. So my husband decided for us to take a break and go to Mexico, particularly in Cancun, to just have a break from all these appointments and procedures. It was like at around 2 a.m. and I was looking in my laptop, what are the possible foods that I can eat as a cancer patient. I remember losing weight then, and really I was shocked when I was diagnosed. As I was looking at the food, I happened to encounter a name, Hope for Cancer, pop up in the screen. And I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but that's how I found out Oasis of Hope. I was going back and forth looking on what they do for about 10-15 minutes, praying and undecided if I should call the following morning. Nobody has referred me, or I didn't hear it from any newsletter, but I prayed. I finally decided to call the first one the following morning. I told myself it wouldn't hurt to ask. I mentioned it to my husband when we were vacationing in Cancun, and he suggested, let's look at the other one, which is Oasis of Hope. I tried to call the admission coordinator of Oasis of Hope, and he gave me and described to me what they do, and he said pretty much the consultation over the phone is free, and if I have questions that the doctors of Oasis or both of them can answer it. I left it there and I prayed and asked the Lord, because I really don't have any idea about immunotherapy, alternative medicine. I was a nurse for almost 30 years working as in the hospital, and I had to quit when I was diagnosed sometime after my biopsy on September 1st. I like what the admission coordinator responded to me from Oasis that says, even if you don't decide to come to Oasis of Hope, I'm sure the Lord will guide you to the right one. That was the answer that I was praying for. And I asked the Lord for confirmation, and I was led to the doctor that discussed more about what they do. I studied and researched the kind of holistic alternative treatment that they do. I look up the history of the founder, who is Dr. Ernesto Contreras Sr., and I was really touched on the kind of relationship that he has to the patient, all the way to the current medical director right now, who is Dr. Francisco Contreras. My experience so far has been really good, and I started to have hope. Of course, I have nothing against conventional therapy. I work as a registered nurse, just like what I said, for 24.5 years before I decided to quit because of my illness. Most cancer patients will tell you that they are in shock when they are diagnosed with a big C. So Oasis of Hope has given me a lot of hope. The staff, from the security guard all the way to the doctors, the housekeepers, the doctors, the lab tech, and everybody are awesome. They are like a very compassionate, supportive of what I do. And they do have a follow-up department when you go home, that you feel like you're not alone, that you can easily email for any questions you have. As I walk in, after me and my husband decide to fly to Tijuana, the most impressive things that really touched me and I cried when I came here is when I went to my room, and one of the doctors that saw me and will be admitting me told me after I put my gown and told me to sit next to him, and he said, "Give me your hand." And I was like, why would I give him my hand? And all he did is to put my hand to his hand, and he started praying for me. I will never forget that. I've been a nurse for almost 30 years, but I've never prayed for my patient the first time I saw them. And after he prayed, he hugged me, And he told me we'll do the best with the help of God first, and then the treatment that we have here to help you have a normal life. Of course, only God cures, and we'll do our best. So that it remains into my memory up to this time, and I always remember that and I treasure it in my heart. So that's the best memory and the first memory I have in this place. I will be honest, there's a lot of doubts at the beginning, but as I go and come back to Oasis, my outlook about my illness has greatly and tremendously changed. I used to think that from the time that I was diagnosed, I'm done. But coming back here to get my vaccine, to do the test and the infusion of high vitamin C and ozone has really inspired me to have a normal life. In fact, when I go to my church, and I actually went to other countries like Australia, helping mission work to the Philippines. People around me, friends and family, were asking, do you really have cancer? I said, yes. And I can't help but tell them about the treatment that I received from Oasis of Hope. So it has totally changed my outlook in life, from being doomed to hope. This is my 4th time coming back to Oasis of Hope. Before the 6 months is over, before I come here, I will go to my local oncologist in California and ask her if she can look and do a scan for me. Last February 18, she did a CT scan, and I asked one of the doctors here of Oasis of Hope, and he said, go ahead and do it so that when you go here, you don't have to do that. They did. The CT scan result came after 3 days, and I was like surprised with the result. The result says that the tumor has become bigger, and there is a lesion in the liver, and it's spreading to the liver. And my local oncologist suggested, let's do a PET scan. I went back and by email asked my oncologist here in Oasis, and he said, go ahead and do it. And as I do my research, I know that PET scan has more reliability than the CT scan. I did the PET scan March 3rd, and one of the doctors here who is helping out, Dr. Contreras, said, go ahead. And he said he's not too concerned about it, so I trust his word. And I'm really surprised because my local oncologist was the one that read the result, not me. She called me over the phone, and she said they could not find any lesion, no metastasis, and I know, first of all, God and the treatment that I get from Oasis of Hope. She herself said that it's remarkable, and they could not explain why I'm still here, because usually with chemotherapy, they kill your immune cells, and also they treat the cancer, of course. I'm not in opposition to all this kind of treatment because, as I said, I am a nurse and giving this to our patient. In fact, I also take some of the oral chemo. But Oasis of Hope has multi-dimensional ways of helping cancer patients according to the wholeness of what they need in their body. So that is the latest miracle that I received, not just from God, but through the staff and the treatment that I got from Oasis of Hope. Hallelujah.